Hey Bobcats! Today we're going to start a vocabulary foldable. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a piece of paper, we're going to fold it up into fourths. So fold it like a hamburger. Okay, and then like a hamburger again, I guess. Okay, now when you open this up, you're going to have 4 boxes. So what we're going to do is we are going to record our vocabulary for each day in these boxes so that you have a running record of every vocabulary term that you need to know for these lessons this week. So we're going to start with the first vocabulary word of the day, and that is array. So I'm going to bring this over to the middle. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Okay, array. We're going to start with the definition for each of these terms, and then I will draw a picture to show you what it looks like. So array, it is a part of a line that begins at a point and extends infinitely in one direction. Okay, so now that we know what array is, let me speak to it for a moment. Let's consider my pen array. We're going to say that this is the endpoint, and this would go on forever infinitely. Now, this pen does not go on infinitely, but we're just going to use our imaginations and say that it does. So we have one point here, and it goes on infinitely in this direction. So when we're drawing lines, or drawing rays, excuse me, let me show you what that looks like. Well, it looks like my daughter ran off with my ruler, so I'm going to use a different straight edge here. Okay, so let's start with our line. Okay, so the definition of array says that we have an endpoint, and that in the other direction, it goes on infinitely. So we're going to put an arrow there to show that it goes on infinitely. We're not going to draw it infinitely, but that's the case. So this is considered array. We're going to give this array a name. Okay, we'll put a point on there too. So the endpoint we'll call A, and the point on the ray will be called B. Now, if we're going to be talking about this ray, we're going to write it like this. A, B, because those are the 2 points there, and then we're going to put a little array above it showing which direction it's going to. So the ray goes from A as the endpoint to B and then on infinitely. So we're going to have a ray pointing this way where the B is for our name. So ray is the first term of the day. The second term that we're going to be talking about is an angle. We're going to be dealing a lot with angles over the next few days. So I'm going to move my paper over. Okay, let's talk about an angle. Okay, so an angle is formed by 2 rays that share a common endpoint. Okay, so I'm going to use my pens real quick to speak about rays, or angles, excuse me. So it's formed by 2 rays. Let's consider that my pens are 2 rays, and they share a common endpoint. So let's assume that the end of the pens here is the endpoint. And so to meet this definition, it could be a really skinny angle, or it can be a really obtuse angle. It could even be a straight angle, or a 90-degree angle, which is a right angle. Okay, so we have all kinds of angles that can be formed by 2 rays. So let's go ahead and draw a picture of what an angle looks like. If you don't have a ruler, you can do exactly what I'm doing, which is making do with what I have. It's just a bookmark that I'm using. All right, So let's give this an angle a name and talk about the different parts of it. Okay, I'm gonna call this, I'm gonna put a point here on both of those rays. So A, B, C. Okay, and we're gonna say that this right here, this point, is the vertex of the angle. And this right here, along with this other side over here, are the sides of the angle. Okay. Now let's talk about when we name an angle. Okay. When we name an angle, we want to have a little angle symbol that looks like this. And we're going to include the 3 points that we have on our angle. We can go this way or this way. So if I'm going to go this way, I would say this is angle ABC. Make sure that since B is your vertex, it is in the middle. Okay, the vertex is always in the middle. We can also name this, we can go the other way, we can say that this is angle CBA. Okay, now if there is only one angle associated with the vertex here, we could also call this angle B. You don't want to do this very often because if there is more than one angle coming off of the same vertex, this would not be enough information to identify what the angle is. Okay, so this is it for the day. Keep this handy because you're probably going to need it as you start going through some of the coursework, the distance learning coursework that we're doing. And we're going to be adding to this over the next couple of days, so don't lose it. All right, I will see you tomorrow, Bobcats.